Hey there viewers, a Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Generation Selects Age of the Primes G2 Snarl and Slug. Yep, apparently these are Generation Selects. Although you would never guess that because, well, looking at the box, they've actually changed how the Selects boxes look. Because, of course, back in the War for Cybertron trilogy, they were sort of like the Collection Club boxes from back in the day where you pretty much just, like, opened it, like, there was no picture of the figure. And then in Legacy, there was a picture of the character. And now here, it just looks like the retail boxes. Because we got, well, hang on. Like, we've got the logo here, we've got the names. We got how many steps it takes to transform them. And we got this nice, like, artwork of them. It's kind of, I'm not sure what you call this art style, like, the way it's painted, but honestly, it looks nice. So it has me curious on what, like, future Selects releases are gonna look like, because right now for Age of the Primes, it's this set and Triptychon, and I think an upcoming G2 Swoop and Sludge set. But that's just a rumor right now. But anyway. This side, we've got Snarl. This side, we've got Slug. Top, it just says Transformers. And the back is really interesting, because normally we just have pictures of the figure, or figures. Here we just have some more artwork. And something that we've not seen in God knows how long. We've got freaking bios of the characters. Like, come on. It's really nice to see this again, because it lets you know, like, what the characters are like, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. I do kind of miss, like, the, quite the club style of box, but that is still pretty cool. And looking at the figures, well, it's Snarl and Slug in their G2 colors. Because, of course, we got Grimlock in G2 blue. So now we got Snarl in red and Slug in green. So, yeah. And, of course, with just being, like, two freaking leader figures together. Yeah, I expect to pay, like, what, 90-something quid for this? Yeah. Anyway, starting off, let's look at Snarl here. So yeah, as I said, he's now in red, out of the original G2 figure. Oh, I think Snarl was also releasing green in G2. I doubt we'll get a figure of that, but still, this is pretty cool. So of course, this is Studio Series 86 Snarl. And for the details, we've got this bit painted in black, which I'm pretty sure is meant to replicate a sticker. Of course, we've got all the plates here. We've got the head with the has got the alphabet symbol on it, and of course you can't open the mouth. Just try not to split the jaw. But yeah, the mouth can open. The back got the little tail right there. And it seems on camera some of the reds are like different shades, which is kind of awkward. So, anyway, underneath, not really much to say there. But of course, with this being a beast mode, we do have some articulation. So, head, it's just mouth. Front legs can move. These little toes can move. And the back legs can also move. Kind of ratcheted. So you can move, kind of go inwards like this. These toes can move. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. And for accessories, he comes with a sword. Just a sword, though. But we do have a port on top that you can plug this into. So, yeah. Kind of wish that was like a bit underneath to plug this into, but oh well. And while putting him with the original figure, well, we can see that aside from the head being like I guess a translucent black on the original G2 figure, which I feel like they could have done. Maybe not make it translucent plastic, because you know that'll be brittle, but maybe make just like a dark gray or something. They did do a pretty good job of replicating the colors, right down to this being black, like the sticker, as I mentioned earlier. Like, of course, the rest of the stickers aren't really, like, included, but hey, there's toy hacks for that, you know? So, yeah. So, overall, I think this is a pretty accurate recreation, just being red. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to use like this, actually. Looking at the original picture, I might be wrong. But hey, it's your figure, display it how you want. Yeah. Okay, yeah, there we go, that's how you meant to have the legs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Snarl. Let's look at Slug. Yes, Slug. I'm not going to call him by his actual name because where I'm from, that's a slur. That's not a nice word. So we're just going to call him Slug. I actually prefer that name anyway. So for Slug, well, he's now done up in green. And on camera, it seems to be kind of dark. In person, it's kind of brighter. So, yeah. But anyway, Slug here does look pretty nice, especially in this green. Of course, we do have some details here. I've got these little bits in silver. Got these little bits here which are meant to replicate the robot mode toes. They're not, they're right here, but it's meant to replicate the kind of like the original toy. We do have a port here if you want to plug in a weapon. The head, of course, that's still like the classic cartoon color. Again, kind of wish maybe this was translucent, kind of like Grimlock's chest and the neck. But, oh well. But, of course, again, we can open this. And one cool thing is, in beast mode, you can't even see the head. Like, they do some cool trickery to hide the head. And yeah, we can... There's a little port here, so you can take a blast effect, plug that in, if I can... There we go. So he can breathe fire. Although here it just looks like he's puking, so perhaps if I grab the rest of the blast effect and make it bigger. There we go, let's try and get this in now. Is that too big? It's too big. So really it's best if you just have like this. But yeah, he can breathe fire. Preferably maybe one in yellow. But still. So that's a cool thing he can do. Or it's going to also go in here. Because I think in the debut episode of the Dinobots, he did use his horns and nose to like shoot stuff. If I remember correctly. So yeah. And for the underneath, we can pretty much see, this is meant to be the mouth. It's a faux piece. It's kind of like Kingdom Rhinox, where the mouth is meant to open up and form the chest. Same with Slug here. It's a faux piece, but oh well. Anyway, here we got the tail, which, of Of course, the weapon's going to plug into here, which we'll do just now, because here we have the gun. So, looking at that, of course, we can plug in a blast effect, can we? Yep, there we go. But we can hypothetically plug this up here, although its main purpose is, see this port here? We're meant to plug this under the tail, and that pretty much completes the tail. So yeah, although it is kind of tricky to try and get this unplugged, so just be careful of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the beast mode, and yeah, I quite like how this looks. And comparing it with the G2 toy, I know it's a G1, but anyway, again, pretty good recreation. I mean, yeah, it's a Studio Series figure, just now in G2 green. I kind of would have preferred if the green was lighter, but still, pretty good recreation, in my opinion. So, yeah. And now, one final, I guess, comparison before we transform them. Here they are with G2 Grimlock, who's so tall. I'm probably going to have to raise the camera up a little bit. So, here we have our G2 Dinobots. Or at least the ones that were in the G2 line back in the day. So that's pretty cool. Now, for the rumored Slug and... well, I say Slug. For the rumored Sludge and Swoop, they'll probably be in like those prototype colors. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But these guys do look really good together. So, for transformation, well, obviously I'm definitely going to have to raise up the camera, because these are really tall. I mean, they're 2 leader class figures, but to start off, I think I'm going to do Snarl first. So, to start off this transformation, I'm just going to move the legs forward. And we're just going to transform the robot legs first, which are, well, they're made up with the front of the beast mode, so we're just going to try and untab this and yank this out so we can get the feet out. This is kind of tricky. I forgot a step. You're meant to open these up first. There we go. And then we can try and, there we go. So you just yank that forward. I'll do that again. So you yank that forward. Try and spin around the legs. Open up the front bits here. Fold in the head, or fold in the beast's head. Get the legs. Just flip down. So you just fold on the feet. And we just fold around the legs. So what we do now is take the front beast legs here. Just fold in. Like so. There we go. And then we just close these bottom bits back up. Okay, so you fold up the front beast legs all the way like so, then we just close these up. And still just won't go in all the way. There we go. There we go. So that's the legs all done. So now we're just going to turn the waist. Compress that down. And might as well just do the arms, just get them out of the way. So turn the back feet. Just turn the back feet around. fold these up. I just untap the arm like so. And yeah, these side bits are kind of loose, so he tends to do the splits a lot. Not so much that he can't stand up, just when you're trying to move him, it can get annoying. Anyway, just gonna get the hand out. Come on. And we'll also spin the fist around. And it does come off the mushroom joint quite a bit, so just be wary of that. And this all closes up. So there we go. So let's do the same here. So that's the arms done. Next, of course, with the tail, take all of this and move that to the back. Flip out the head, so you just push your finger in here and that gets the head out. And this backpack just folds up. And here we have Snarl in robot mode. Now, moving on to Slug, who I feel is a bit easier and kind of more fun. So just try and get the gun out of here, which again, kind of a bitch to do. Oh, no. There we go. So we're just gonna fillet the sides open here. And just untap the tail. So we have all of this. And then with the back legs, these are just going to fold up and into here. So again, the back legs fold up like so. And the robot legs are just folded up here, so you can just fully undo them like so. Can spin around the waist. Take this little panel here, get that out of the way so we can fold it in this bit. Like so. So do the same here. Let's get the hands out. And once again, turn them around. Sometimes this can be a bit tricky, so the best option is take the hand, well, take the gun handle, stick it in there, and just leverage it out. There we go. And now we're nearly done, so we're just going to open the chest. And we're just going to try and split all of this. These little bits of the Triceratops head are just going to come down. The mouth's just going to move down, and the head's going to flip up. As the chest tabs in. Oh, there we go. And then finally, all this just comes up and tabs in to the back. So there we go. So here we have Slug in his robot mode. And yeah, quite tall. But anyway, here we have these two in robot mode. And oh my god, that is those are definitely leader class. Like, I think the Dinobots are some of the tallest leader classes that we have currently. Because I know that we like to joke that, oh, they shrunk leader class. It's not just Void. It's just Void just with stuff added to it. But some leaders can be true. Like, I mean, like, look at the Megatron. Like, that's pretty much just a kind of tall Voyager, in my opinion. But with these guys, these are definitely a leader class. So, yeah. Now, let's start this off with Snarl. So, because honestly, I think it looks really cool. Of course, we've got the red here from the G2 figure. You can see the split tail. And of course, the head. He's even got the red eyes from the G2 toy, which is pretty cool, because I think the Studio Series version's got blue eyes. So, yeah. And it is quite the big head as well. So, yeah. And of course, we can give him the sword. So, yeah. Not really any poor looking blast effects aside from, like, I don't know, the feet. Because there are some at the heels. But still, this is pretty impressive. So yeah, I do like how this looks. Plus, putting this with the original figure, well, we can see that they did a pretty good job of replicating how it's meant to look. You know, the little red stickers are well, the red stickers are represented by these bits here. We've got the chest sticker, fully molded here. So, yeah. That one really nice thing is, like, the kibble from the original figure, of course, this being Studio Series 86 Snarl, it's all condensed into the legs. So, yeah. So, not really much else to say. Like, I can only say I like how he looks, and I like the colors so many times, so let's do the articulation. So, head, of course, can move around. It's on a ball joint. Arms, a bit of a ratchet joint there. Of course, it can move out. Got a double jointed elbow, like seriously, there's a joint here and right there, just so it can move for the transformation. Wrists, can't, like, I think you have to move, hang on, if I can do, oh yeah, that's actually a complaint I've got, but we'll get there soon. So if I try and, you have to move that down if you want to move this down for the, like, sword holding poses. But anyway, hands can swivel, bicep rotation, waist rotation. He can kick forward, he can kick back. You can do the splits, although it's kind of doesn't really hold the greatest, unfortunately, because as you've seen, I can easily, well, it's not doing it now, but I can make him do, like, unwillingly do the splits. But anyway, swivel at the thigh, really good ratcheted knee, and yeah, ankle in two pieces, so that can split, which is kind of annoying, but when you do have the ankle, yeah, there you go. And there is some cool detailing right there. And the toes can move. So, yeah. Overall, I do think Snarl looks really great. Like, there are some qualms with him, but I just think he looks really nice. Now, what about Slug? Now, I do really like how Slug looks, but he also has a fair bit of issues. Like, honestly, I think they both have loose hips. But anyway, we can see this guy is really tall. Like, he's nearly at the back of my set there. So, yeah. But looking at him, of course, we have this all folded up. Got a port there, like a weaponizer if you want, I guess. But anyway, the head. In fact, you can see one of my issues is. Yeah, that's loose, unfortunately. But anyway, looking at the head. Of course, it's pitch black, just like the original toy. So, there's that. And of course, giving him the gun. Doesn't really hold it the greatest. Like, you really have to force it in there. So, yeah. But anyway, that does look really nice. But yeah, as I said, this guy does have some flaws. Like, he tends to lean back a bit. And my biggest one is, one of his hips is really bad. Like, even worse than Snarl's. But anyway. Putting him with the G2 toy. Well, once again, well, it's pretty accurate. The lighting is probably not doing it justice, but in person, it's a much lighter green. And of course, it being Studio Series Slug, it's managed to compress the back legs into the robot legs instead of having them just hang out, which is pretty nice. So yeah, and of course the sticker detailing is included, which is really nice. So yeah, and of course articulation. Head is on a ball joint, which can move quite a bit. So yeah. Arms, ratchet joints. Really good elbows. Hands can, of course, move down. Well, not that much, because they're turned around. But you can move the wrists around. But bicep rotation, waist rotation. He can kick forward, he can kick back. He can do the splits. Really good ankle pivot. Really good knee. Probably just due to how it transforms. And yeah, that's about it. Because keep in mind, as I've said, this hip sucks. But anyway. Let's put these guys along with Grimlock. And honestly, I think that they look really good together. Like, it's pretty good I've got a soft spot for G2, but I think that these guys just look amazing. So, yeah. So this does have me curious for that, like, rumored G2 Swoop and Sludge. But we'll just have to wait and see for that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about these two. Complaints? Well, I think Slug's big one is definitely that one hip, but I think that's just a QC thing. But for Snarl, like, his hips are also loose, but his transformation can be kind of, like, awkward. More so than Slug's. Like, Slug and Grimlock transformations are straightforward. Snarl can be a bit fiddly if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, but anyway, like there's also bits that can come off a bit too easily, like the hands on that mushroom joint if you're trying to rotate it. These bits on Snarl if you're trying to pull on them. So yeah, I'd say just be a bit cautious, but still, it's the G2 Thunderbolt molds, and a lot of people class these as some of the best figures that we've ever gotten. And honestly, I'm inclined to agree because just the sheer mass of these figures is amazing. I I think Slug's my favorite out of these two. So yeah. So would I recommend these? Well, I would say if you have G2 Grimlock, sure. Like, because they make a great add-on piece to him. But if you don't have Grimlock, well, they're still interesting, like, pickups. Just keep in mind the price, because this is like nearly 100 quid, which does make sense. It's two leader figures, but honestly, I feel you definitely need G2 Grimlock to enjoy the full thing, in my opinion. But that's just me. But anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this. So, this has been my review on Select's Age of the Prime's G2 Snarl and Slug. And this is a Transformers fan signing off.